Om Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
Om Sarvada.
Saram.
Please mute. Whoever is typing violently, please mute. Thank you. Sairam, can you all hear me okay?
Yes,
Yes,
Shanti.
Okay. All right. Let's get started. Chandrasekhar, you are co-host, right?
Sairamana, actually, I'm having some trouble with Zoom. I've joined in phone for now.
Okay, I'll make Damaraj the co-host so he can share the screen. Satish, when I request you, please share the screen. Okay?
Okay, Aruna, yeah.
Okay. Let's get started. Is the YouTube live stream working? Because we have 87. Okay. Om. Om. गणानान्त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामवित्र्यवतु गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः Om Sri Sai Ram, offering our collective love at the divine lotus feet of Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hari Om, Shalom, Sai Ram, Namaste. Eid Mubarak. La ilaha illallah, la la. Yesterday, we started the first mantra, the Shanti mantra for Aruna Krishna. And the Shanti mantra is Bhadrang Karnebhihi Bhadrang Karnebhish Shrunuyama Devaha. That is the Shanti mantra invoked for Aruna Krishna. And in fact, Aruna Krishna also begins with Bhadrang Karnebhish Shrunuyama Deva. In the first Anuvakam, the first mantra is also starts with Bhadrang Karnebhish Shrunuyama Deva. So, Devaha. Okay. So, yesterday we discussed in the past part of the Samarpan, and I'm sure most of you have gotten an elaborate account of why this collective listening is important. Shrunuyama Devaha. Let us all listen together. Let us all be ears to listen together to the auspiciousness. Bhadrang Karnebhihi Shrunuyama Devaha. Bhadram Pasyebhihi Bhadram Pasyema Akshabhihi Yajatra. In order to be protected by the yaja. Yaja means invocation or worship. May we all see together as all eyes. Sthiraihi angaihi tushtuvam sastanubhihi. I'm giving, when in these classes, what you will notice is with every mantra, what I will do is I will break the words apart so that you will understand the meaning of each word, not just the overall general meaning of it. Each word has to be understood. And then you will also understand when we chant together, you will understand how those words are coming together as the full mantra. So Aruna Krishna starts with this Bhadrang Karnebhihi. This Shanti mantra belongs to Atharva Veda. It is also located or chanted as part of Mandukya Upanishad, as Mundaka Upanishad, as Prishna Upanishad, and it is also in the Kanva Shakha of Shukla Yajurveda, chapter 25, shloka 2.1. That is the source of this mantra. So, what is this mantra? Yesterday I gave the elaborate essence of it. Addressed to Devah. Devah Bhadram Karnebhihi Shrunuyama. May we hear with all our ears. Please show the text now. May we hear with all our ears what is auspicious. Bhadram Pasyema Akshabhihi Yajatraha. So when it is chanted together, Bhadram Pasyemakshabhir Yajatraha. Sthiraihi Angaihi Tuštuvamsaha Tanubhihi. The gum comes because anytime in Yajurveda there is a Anuswara followed by Sa, Sha, Sha, Ra, like that. The gum comes. I hope you have all visited the Veda learning modules that I posted on the classroom. There are now 358 students on the Google Classroom. 358, everybody signs up, but there is no steadiness in the study. By the time the classes go to the second mantra, 80% will fall off because they don't have the resolve to study. They cannot sustain it. The mind doesn't have the concentration and the focus. The ears do not have the steadiness to listen. The eyes do not have the steadiness to see. The limbs and the body doesn't have the resolve to be committed for the lifespan for the study of these mantras. That is what this mantra is saying. Not me, we, this 300 and whatever number. Bhadrang karnebhihi shrunuyama. Oh gods, please bless us. That Bhadram also means steadiness. May we all learn with all our ears, with steadiness. May we all see worthy of worship to what is auspicious together. All eyes. Bhadram pasyema akshabhihi yajatraha sthiraihi angaihi. Sthira means stable, grounded, fixed. Our anga, our limbs should be sthira. That means they are like steel. Tushtuvam saha tanubhihi. Tushtuvam means we pray. May we all pray with steady limbs and tanubhihi, bodies. Vyashema devahita yat ayuhu. May we spend our lifespan allotted by you, the Devas. May we spend our lifespan allotted together in doing the divine work. That is the meaning of that mantra. I'm reiterating what was already mentioned yesterday. Now let's look at these 4 lines and I will chant. And you all know how to chant this mantra. I'm assuming. Because this deva, a lot of people will chant the swara incorrectly. 99% of. So now learn the mantra with proper not only pronunciation but intonation, paying attention to those blue letters in English, paying attention to the boxes that are there. That is complete attention with eyes, complete attention with ears, and with bodies that are capable of sustaining and doing great work, and our lives spent purposefully for divine work. Why this is important is because Aruna Krishna, you are going to see, unless you pay real close attention, you will not understand many of the mantras. Not only you means, I'm not personalizing it. Many people totally misinterpreted these mantras because they really do not have. You really need to hear with all your ears. You really need to see with all your eyes, all our eyes. And we should have steadiness with our body and the limbs to sustain this study and spend our lifespan for the work of the divine. Om Bhadran Karneڀih Shrunuyama Devaha. And you all, when you practice, will have the practice sessions on Tuesdays, both morning and in the evening, and you can join any one of the sessions. It will be repeat session. Everybody should chant the mantras in that speed, with that clarity of pronunciation and intonation, etc. See how it is. Om Bhadrang Karneڀih Shrunu Yama Devaha Bhadram Pashyemakshabhir Yajatraha स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः. If you said devahitam yadayuhu, you lost it because you did not understand how anuswaras are pronounced. It is not devahitam yadayuhu, even though it is written like that. You have to say devahitai yadayuhu. Okay, I'll pick on Chandrasekhar. Start chant those 4 lines, please.
ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः.
Last line one more time. Pay attention to she, the Swarita, and say Vyashema. That is how you have chant. Okay.
व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः.
Very good. So now, yesterday, I also shared this is the relatively everyone coming collectively together for study, for adhyayanam. So why it is collective study, not individual study? Because Veda Patha, Veda is a Veda Ghosha. Individual chanting of the Vedas is a different experience from collective chanting of the Vedas. And when we collectively chant, it should sound so perfectly that the vibration created is like that of an ocean wave, and the mind should be completely absorbed and dissolved in it. And therefore, chanting individually perfectly doesn't really matter when it is done along with others collectively. Everybody should be chanting at the same speed, same scale, same intonations, same pronunciations, etc. So this is collectively bringing together our listening, our seeing, our steadiness in effort, and also our lives together. And in order that to happen, there is the prayer for collective wellness. Swasti means wellness. Swasti naha. Now I'm going to individual words. Swasti naha indraha vruddhashravah. Swasti naha पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्तिनः तार्क्ष्यः अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्तिनः बृहस्पतिः दधातु. Now बृहस्पतिः दधातु becomes बृहस्पतिर दधातु. Tarkshaha Arishtanemi becomes Tarksho Arishtanemi. Why it becomes Tarksho? Because Visarga followed by an vowel becomes O. Those are the fundamental principles of grammar, Vedic grammar. Now, why I am mentioning all this is many people in this class are at different levels. So, those that are now just beginning to learn, you are getting complete exposure to all of this. Now, Swasti Naha, that is the prefix for all the mantra. Swasti Naha, may we all have the well-being. Naha means together. May we all be blessed with well-being by Indra, who has been greatly praised. Vruddhashravaha. Vruddha here doesn't mean old. Vruddha is not meaning old. Vruddha means that which is enormously shravah, praised. The Indra who has been enormously praised. Where is Indra enormously praised? The entire Rigveda is mostly about worshipping Indra. Most of the mantras you see in Rigveda are about Indra. And that Indra is not the Puranic Indra, the god of gods. The Puranic Indra is a useless fellow. He is always about getting something to maintain his power. He has been named Indra by the actual Indra. Just like this Vishwavasu, some people are telling Vishwavasu is the name of this celestial Gandharva. No, Vishwavasu is the actual name of Surya Bhagavan and also Vishnu Bhagavan. And this Gandharva was named after that. So if somebody is named as Sai, it doesn't mean that they are Sai. They are named after Sai Baba. Like that Indra is named after the original Indra. And that original Indra is the supreme witness consciousness. Idan dravayati iti indraha. Yesterday I explained that. So, Pusha. Pusha is another way referred to as Surya Bhagavan. Pusha means that which enables wellness of seeing. Vishwaveda, so that we will be all knowing the universe. Pusha is Vishwaveda. Tarksha is this great bird. And this Tarksha, the great bird, snakes, if the bird is seeing a snake from very up above, it can come down 30,000 feet even distance and will grab the snake from the ground and take it away. That is the level of its might and its focus. See, now, what is this mantra of pointing out to is, you should have wellness associated with your witness consciousness, wellness of witness consciousness together, wellness of all knowing, awareness together, wellness of the minds that have the concentration and the focus. Arishta nemihi. Arishta nemihi means, Arishta means that which causes, that which is. Arishta nemihi means, nemi means enemy, the enemy of Arishtas, evil aspects. So this bird, the mind should be like the bird And the mind should be enemy of the evil qualities associated with us. Yeah, beautiful. This now, once you put it in this context, the Indra, the Pusha, the Tarksha, Brihaspati, they are not anymore Hindu gods. All these words are symbolically associated with different aspects of our collective awareness. Bruhaspatihi means Bruhatpati. There is a Brahmana Suktam. This Gananantva mantra is not about Ganesha. Huh? This is you will be knowing the secrets of how, because there is Ganapati Kumbhavame, we apply it to Ganapati. But that Brahmana Suktam is about Brahman, and in that Brahmana Suktam, the Gananantva mantra is coming. There, the Ganapati that is invoked is the master of all the faculties, who is the Brahman himself. Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspataha. Similarly, Bruhaspati is not the guru of the demigods referred to here. Bruhaspati is Bruhatpati, the supreme master. Now that supreme master, so now how are they related to us? Indraha is consciousness. Pusha is the awareness. Tarksha is focused mind. Bruhaspati is supreme intellect. And therefore, may all those aspects give us well-being together, collectively, for all of us. So who are we invoking here? We are invoking supreme witness, consciousness, awareness that will enable a focused mind and an illumined intellect together. Because the mantra that we are going to learn as Aruna Krishna requires all those four aspects. It is, now when you look at our senses, when we look at our mind, when we look at our intellect, what is their functionality? How do they help us? Senses help with perception, mind with concentration, intellect with awareness. So when those tools don't perform those functions, yesterday I was talking to some boys here, asking them what is the Surya Grahanam, because yesterday there was the solar eclipse. So anyway, I won't get into that part of it, because that solar eclipse is what we are observing as outside solar eclipse. We are undergoing that solar eclipse 99% of the time. Substitute the sun with intellect, substitutes the mind with the moon, substitute your body with senses as the earth. And now look at what happens in the eclipse outside and apply that to your own faculties. Then you know what kind of grahanam you are in. Vadi grahanam battindi in Telugu we say vadiki grahanam battindi, they say. Means that fellow is under eclipse. We are constantly under eclipse. So what is happening? Our senses will be eclipsed by a mind that blocks the awareness to fall on it. That is solar eclipse. So what you have to do, you have to have senses that can perceive very well, mind that can concentrate, intellect that is illumined by awareness. And once that is there, as a student, as collectively as the students, we will be able to really understand the significance of what we are going to study. Therefore, the Shanti mantra is invoked as such. Okay, so let's स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः Swasti nastarksho arishthanemihi. Swasti no bruhaspatir dadhatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. The last piece is three Shantis. Yesterday, I asked the question, what are those three Shantis? The answer was given in Sanskritam, Adi Daivika, Adi Bhautika, Adhyatmika. But I said, explain them in English. And then there will be total silence. Adhyatmika means, first begin with Adhyatmika. There, Atma doesn't mean the soul. Atma there means the composition of senses, mind, and the body. And whatever suffering happens caused by your own mind and the senses, the mind undergoing distress, emotional, physical ailments like disease, etc., that affect the body, that's called adhyatmic suffering. You suffer because of your senses and your mind when they are not well. That is adhyatmika. And first Shanti is for adhyatmika. The second Shanti is for Adi Bhautika. Adi Bhautika means external beings that cause you suffering. Like there are other beings that cause you suffering because they are afraid of you, or because for no reason they will cause you suffering. Like a snake, if you come on its way, it will bite. A scorpion, come on its way, it will bite. A lion will attack if you are fearful of it. This is Adi Bhautika suffering. Suffering caused by external beings outside of you. Then the third one is the Adi Daivika. That suffering is associated with natural calamities that are beyond our control, like earthquakes and things of that nature. Unfortunately, so many people suffering in Myanmar today, over 2,000 people dead with the earthquake. So there is suffering because of the natural calamities, suffering because of other beings that harm you, and then there is a suffering associated with our own mind and senses and the diseased body. So the Shanti, Shanti, Shanti is associated with those three aspects. Okay, so we finished the complete mantra now. Let's chant the full mantra. Chandrasekhar, chant the full mantra. Om.
ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः
Vyashema devahitai yadayuhu.
व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः.
Okay, so then we go into Aruna Krishna. Aruna Krishna, and Aruna Krishna has 32 Anuvakas with 132 what are called Panchatis or Panchashatis, which means rooks that are containing 50 words or 10 lines. Except the last line in a particular Anuvaka may have 8 or maybe a little more, there are 10. But generally speaking, there are 10 lines, and the 10 lines will have totally 50 words. That's called a Panasa or a Panchashati or a Panchati. So each Panchati is numbered here 1, 2, 3, 4. As you go through, you will know that that is one Panchati. And we are now starting with the first Anuvaka of Aruna Krishna. And this Aruna Krishna, what does it mean, Aruna Krishna? See, if you don't understand the words, first try to understand the meaning of your own name, if you haven't done so yet. And then you will understand what is the purpose or intent, why somebody named you like that. Good luck if they named you some obscure name and you cannot find it even in the dictionary. God bless you with that. Aruna Krishna. Prashna means when you ask colloquially, what is the word Prashna? 99% of the people will say question. Prashna does not mean actually question. Prashna actually means a particular chapter. Prashna also means enquiry. Prashna also means deep interrogation into a topic, a study. That is what is Prashna. Rudra Prashna. The study about Rudra. The enquiry about Rudra. So even the word question, the root of the word question is query. Query is the root for also query, as in enquiry or inquiry. So what are we going to inquire about? What are we going to study about? What are we going to deep dive about? We are going to do deep dive about this Aruna. Aruna means what? Aruna simply means crimson red color. It's the color. Aruna Karuna Tarangita Kshim. This is described as the Dhyana Shloka for Lalita Mata. Karuna Tarangita Akshim. Waves of compassion coming from this beautiful crimson colored eyes of the mother. Crimson red color of the mother's eyes. Doesn't that represent actually, Kopam? Kopa Darunalochana, we say in Devi Mahatmyam, chapter 2, when the mother gets angry at Mahishasura. So Aruna simply means crimson red color. We already know about this color spectrum, from Rudra Prishna. Sangha, what is the mantra with colors in Rudra Prishna first Anuvakam, where Aruna comes?
Aruna uta babhru sumangalaha ye che magam.
No, answer the question. Which mantra number is that? What is the Ruk number? Which Anuvakam is that in Rudra Prashna?
First Anuvaka.
No. Did I ask you, ma? Whoever answered? I'm talking to Sangha. First Anuvaka. Okay. Which number?
I don't exactly remember the number now.
How many times you have chanted Rudram? That means the mind has not concentrated. Okay. Shyam, Sundar, Madan Mohan, Raja Gopal. Asamyastamro Aruna Uta Babhru Subangalaha. It is the 7th mantra in first Anuvakam. 7th mantra in first Anuvakam in Rudra Prashna. Gayatri, what is that mantra talking about? Gayatri Borude, named here as Jitendra.
It is talking about the sun passing through, the rays of the sun passing through, having 3 different colors. And because of the layers in the atmosphere that it passes through, it is seen in different colors because of the amount of distance it travels, or
Okay,
yeah,
what are
so
the three
it
colors?
appears yellow, crimson
No,
red,
no.
asav,
First is
asav,
Asav means what? Asav means the
asav,
sun. Asav means the sun.
tamraha, arunaha, babruhu.
Babruhu. Okay. What is
Babruhu
Tamra?
is yellow,
What is
tamra copper, copper color.
Tamra is blood red. Tamra is blood red color. Aruna is crimson red color. Babru is white. Sumangala means all auspiciousness. White color. Complete white color. No, colorless. Almost colorless. Those are the colors that are attributed to the sun rising. So Aruna is what is the state of the sun when at Aruna color? So exactly what Aruna means is that color of the sun who is just above the horizon. That is the color of the sun. So this enquiry is about that sun who is above the horizon. Wow. 132 rooks, 32 anuvakas about one guy called Aruna. What an incredible study that must be. And I'm telling you, this is the most scientific hymn that you can find in Veda mantras. It's a full of science. It's a full of not only science, but also 100% the spiritual aspect of that science. They take an observation, but they also give it the spiritual context to that observation. That's why it's a deep inquiry into this thing called the sun. The sun who is rising above the horizon. And there are two rishis by name Aruna and Ketuka, the third one also called Vatsyayana. These rishis, they actually not only have visualized most of this, but there is a ritual associated with this Aruna. It's called Aruna Ketuka Chayana. Chayana means ritual or yajna. So there is a yajna, there is a, like what we do Atirudra Mahayajna with the Rudra, for the Rudra, there is a Aruna Ketuka yajna associated with Aruna Krishna. And the beauty of this Aruna Krishna is 90% of the mantras are associated with that ritual. And that ritual is very, very rarely performed nowadays. And that ritual is pretty unique. So I will come into that later as we go through these mantras, what that ritual is. So Aruna Prashna we have covered. The root of the word Prashna is enquiry, query, and this is the deeper understanding or an enquiry into the particular topic called sun above the horizon. The sun above the horizon is also symbolic. The color crimson red is associated with Rajoguna, with creation. So Mahalakshmi is Pravala Prabha, crimson red color, Mahalakshmi. For those who studied the Devi Mahatmyam. And that Mahalakshmi is associated with creative energy. And that creative aspect of how the whole creation comes into being because of this sun who is rising above the horizon. That is the topic also. So when we go into this particular Vedic hymn, how time comes into existence, how space came into existence, how seasons came into existence, how the 7 colors of the rays of the sun came into existence, how gravity came into existence, how universe has come into existence. So therefore the title as I gave it is Cosmology and Beyond. The study of cosmos. Aruna Krishna is the study of the cosmos. Now how incredible that we start this on Ugadi day, associated with Vishwavasu Ugadi, Vishwavasu being the sun, and the study about the sun starting on Vishwavasu Ugadi. You think a human being has planned all this? So we are seeking the grace and the blessings of this Surya Narayana and Sai Narayana before we get into this particular hymn. So the source of Aruna Krishna, where it comes from, is from, it is the first chapter. There are 10 chapters in Taittiriya Aranyakam in Krishna Yajurveda. How many Vedas are there? A lot of people will say 4. But truly speaking, Vedas is 3. Rug, Yajus, Sama. Atharva Veda is a much later on compilation associated with the principles of living. Rug, Yaju, Samaveda. And in Yajurveda, there are 2 branches. One is called Shukla Yajurveda, other one is called Krishna Yajurveda. What it literally means, Shukla Yajurveda means white Yajurveda. Krishna Yajurveda means black or dark Yajurveda. Krishna does not mean the Puranic Krishna there. Krishna is referring to a color there. So you will be, your perception about these words will completely change. The moment with the Krishna Yajurveda, is it about Krishna? No, it's nothing to do with Krishna. Krishna Yajurveda means dark or black Yajurveda. Why is that named black Yajurveda? What does it mean? White Yajurveda, black Yajurveda. Shukla also means light, Light, and darkness. Wow, this Yajurveda is, Krishna Yajurveda is all about darkness? No, that's not what it means. We'll get into that later. Right now, it's beyond the topic. When appropriate time comes, when we study this particular hymn, I will explain. So, these Krishna Yajurveda, these obviously, there are 2 aspects of the Vedas. Yesterday, I mentioned this in the talk. One aspect is action or ritual oriented, also called karma kanda. And then there is the second aspect of it, which is knowledge, awareness, or jnana oriented, called jnana kanda. In fact, all these Aranyaka are about karma kanda, rituals. Enormous amount of rituals are described. This entire Aruna Krishna, as I already mentioned, is a ritual. Now, what is a ritual? Ritual is basically action. Or ritual is also called karma. That's why it's called karma kanda. So why do we have to do actions? Huh? What is the purpose of these actions? And some of you already heard this from me. Our actions are motivated by 3 outcomes. The first set of actions are for pleasure, which is mundane and sensual pleasure. To achieve that, we undertake actions. Then, to achieve something greater, I am a great scientist, I want to be a great astronomist, I want to be a great doctor, I want to be a great surgeon, I want to be this great, that great. So there is a pursuit. So your actions are motivated by a pursuit. I want to achieve something personally so that people will recognize me for something. Nothing wrong about it. That is better than actions that are driven by simple mundane pleasures. Khana, pina, sona, marna. Then there is a third set of actions that we undertake, which is beyond this pursuit at individual level. That's called purpose. We undertake actions for a purpose, and that purpose drives. What is the purpose of my living? Why am I existing? Therefore, that purpose drives, and that purpose, as described in scriptures, drives the lives of people, blessed people. Because for them, it is not about any of this thing achieving at the worldly level. They want to achieve something beyond the worldly level so that they can go to heaven, Brahma Loka, Swarga Loka, this Loka, that Loka. And those are the actions, the rituals. So most of the rituals described in Vedas are about a purpose, that is to achieve higher worlds beyond the worldly plane of existence. That is the Karma Kanda. Now there is the second one called, there is a second aspect, nothing to do with this actions driving towards a result. That is to be liberated from all of this stuff. And that is called Jnana Kanda. The only purpose of that knowledge is to release yourself from any kind of bondage. You understand? Am I boring you all? Or what? Are you all still together? Or, why this is important is, as we begin to study this Aruna Krishna, most of the mantras, as they're called Brahmanas, are associated with the description of a god or a description of a ritual. And if you really did not understand what that ritual is, now this Aruna Krishna is a ritual. Aruna Ketuka Chayana is an incredible ritual because it's a very unique ritual. And we'll get into that. So karma, now what we are trying to do, the Aruna Krishna as the ritual, traditionalists or purists, why it is called Aranyaka. Now I am coming to the word Taittiriya Aranyaka that has 10 chapters. It's called Aranyaka because traditionally our purists say that these mantras have to be learned formally from a guru in a forest, Aranya, while performing this ritual. That is actually what Aranyaka means. You understand? We all should be sitting in a forest. While learning the mantra, you should also learn what is the ritual associated with the mantra from a guru who is trained in that particular ritual. So I am disqualified. All of you are disqualified. Chapter closed. Let us go to forest and go learn this mantra. No? That's why these mantras are not even taught to people. You go and check how many people have done a deep dive into Aruna Krishna and described it. Lot of people have done for Rudram and Taittiriya Upanishad, that Upanishad, this Upanishad, etc. Aranyakas are not explained in a spiritual manner by many gurus. So we all require much more special grace from Bhagavan Sri Satsai Baba to be able to start this study. Swastina Indro Vruddhashrava. Swastina Pusha Vishwaved. Now you understand why the Shanti mantra is so profound. Because it's not comprehensible. We will be confused. Suddenly why this mantra's meaning is like this. It is totally out of context because you don't know what the ritual is associated with it. But even if you know the ritual associated with it, that mantra is not even connected to the ritual. This is what you will see throughout Aruna Krishna. Don't get scared. Now, my only purpose is out of 370 people that signed up, who will stay through the first 4 classes? And that's why this Aruna Krishna has been postponed for many, many years. But how we have evolved into first Rudra Prashna, Devi Mahatmyam, then Aruna Prashna, because Aruna Prashna is the next level of study of the whole universe and the cosmos. It's full of science and beyond. Somebody should mute unless they want to say something. Okay. I've given enough context on what the Aruna Prashna as a ritual. Now let's go into so as I said, it is impossible in our today's context and even scope to study this in a forest conducting a ritual. Then word Aranya has to be understood properly. Now this is the spiritual aspect of it. The ritualist will say, hey, you have to go to a forest with a guru, you have to learn it. But the spiritualist will understand what is the meaning of the word Aranya. Pashava Aranyascha Yajnena Kalpetam. I described the meaning of the word Aranya in when we were studying Rudra Prashna. I know, of course, many of you might have already forgotten all those things. Aranya is actually a state of mind. Aranya is not a place. It is a state of mind. Aranya as a state of mind implies a state where the mind is devoid or not affected by sensual impulses. And a grama is a place where the mind is affected by sensual impulses. What is sensual impulse? Each of you should be studying that yourself, if you have any sense. Impulses. Impulse will come. When your mind is able to catch that impulse and put it away, that state of mind is actually called Aranya. So now we really need to know Bhadrang Karne Bhishrunuyama Deva. Now you understand why all the senses are mentioned. That we should all put our mind together. Swastinas Tarksho Arishta Nemihi. Arishta means these sensual impulses are Arishta. And they are the snakes that are infecting your being. And therefore, the Starksha, the Garuda, the concentrated, focused mind would be able to catch that impulse even from 30,000 feet and droop down and catch that snake and put it away. Now you are in Aranya. You have to catch that impulse. Then you will get close to understanding these mantras. Now 90% are lost. My God, stuff is really not for me. Now what happens is, this is the way the gurus, the teachers used to test the students first. Are they eligible even to learn? Do they have the proper mindset even to begin to grasp and understanding these mantras? Because they will learn these mantras only to show off chanting in a temple or some place. They're really not doing it as a study. That is the purpose of this. That's the reason why this body doesn't indulge in any of this nonsense. You have to really focus on what is the Brahma Vidya. How does this help me know myself better? If that outcome is not in mind, or if that is the purpose is not in mind, then you will do these chanting rituals because you are scared of God, that God will punish you if you don't. Oh, today is Ugadi. If I don't chant Aruna Krishna and eat Ugadi Pachadi, then I will be doomed into sin. And all of this nonsense will creep into your heads. That is all Arishta. If you really understand what is the purpose of eating that Ugadi Prasadam, it is not even Pachadi business. It is Prasadam. I hate the word Pachadi when they say Ugadi Pachadi Tinnara. Pachadi and all that stuff is nonsense. It is Ugadi Prasadam. What is that Prasadam is about? It is giving you what life is all about. That is a mixture of 6 different tastes. And each of the tastes represent the season that is associated with the year. The 6 seasons represent the 6 tastes. And each season comes with a particular taste. And when we go into Aruna Krishna, enormous detail is given about all the aspects of each Rutu. It's called Rutu Mandala, Surya Mandala, Rutu Mandala. Rutu Mandalani, Surya Mandalanya Akhyayika. You will get these mantras in this first 6 Anuvaka. What is this Rutu Mandala? Mandala means a cycle. Rutu Mandala means a cycle of seasons. And each season has a particular aspect that is highlighted as the color of the sun, as the taste, as the state of mind. If you seriously ask the people to name all the 6 tastes that are in this Ugadi Prasadam in English, not in Telugu, you will not even know what those 6 tastes are, but you are ready for Prasadam. So that aspect of what these Rutus are, and what is the Rutu that we just started yesterday? Most of the people doing Sandhya Vandanam will know. Vishwa Vasunama Samvatsare Uttarayane
Vasanta Ritu.
Masam
Chaitra Masam.
Chaitra.
Paksham
Suklapach.
Varam Tithi.
Padyam.
Ayyo, yesterday was Padyami. Today is next Karanam Yogam. This is Panchangam. Tithi, Vara, Nakshatra, Karana, Yoga. 5 things mentioned in Sankalpa. Therefore, it is called Panchangam. Pancha Angam. Pancha Angam associated with 5 limbs of the day. And that 5 limbs of the day is Tidhi, Vara, Nakshatra, Karana, Yoga. Most of us do not pay any damn attention to any of these things. But the first level of spiritual being is, do I pay attention to what day is today? What Tidhi is today? And when you pay attention to that, presence will start with, first of all, presence to the time, presence to the space, presence to the causality. And when you have that presence associated with the time, space, and causality, then you are aware. Your awareness begins with that. And that is what is called Samyak Kalpam Sankalpam. So why I got into this? Why I got into this is because Aruna Krishna is this enormous description into the time, space, and causality. And Aruna Krishna contains the mantras and also the Brahmanas, as I already mentioned, to perform a ritual called Aruna Ketuka Chayana. This ritual was first conceived and performed by the rishis Aruna, Ketuka, Vata, Rachana. Out of these, Aruna and Ketuka were prominent, and hence this name Aruna Ketuka Chayana came. Chayana means the method or the process of arranging a Vedic altar. That is what's called Chayana. And the ritual to be offered into that altar. And there are several methods of rituals in the Vedic scripts. Nachiketa Chayana, Aruna Ketuka Chayana, where the fire altar is generally arranged with bricks. But in Aruna Ketuka Chayana, so these Chayanas are, as I mentioned, Nachiketa Chayana, Savitra Chayana, Chaturhotra Chayana, Vaishvasruja Chayana. All these are described in these Aranyakas. They are also called Panchakathaka, named after this Katha Maharshi. So in these other Chayanas, the fire altar is made of what called Ishtaka. Ishtaka means bricks with specific dimensions and specific arrangement. That's what we know, no? Why when we do Homa, it's all using bricks. But in this Aruna Ketuka Chayana, there are no bricks. Water pots are used as bricks. Water pots. They become the bricks. It's a very unique ritual. Why water pots and all? We will get into that when the ritual, when the mantras are being learned. So, in these water-filled pots, they are substituted for the bricks, and the water is filtered with a particular cloth as well. Now I'm just giving a brief overview of this protocol. A pit is dug, and that is like a wheel of a ratha or a vehicle, and the depth of the pit will be equivalent up to the knee of the main performer of the yajna. And in this pit, water is filled for the length of the, in this pit, all these water-filled pots are organized using the mantras of Aruna Krishna. And on the top of these pots, lotus leaves are placed, lotus stems are placed, and followed by the entire lotus plant along with its roots. Therefore, in the mantra, it will Pushkara Parnaish, Pushkara Dandai. You will learn these mantras much later in Aruna Prashna. Pushkara Parna. Parna means leaves. Pushkara Danda means stems of the lotus plant. And the lotus plants themselves are placed above these pots. And then the fire ritual is performed. And on that, a wooden pitha means a table kind of a thing is set up, and fire is placed on that pitha. And then the water, so there is water-filled pots on which the lotus leaves, on which there is this wooden platform, and on the wooden platform, they do the yajna. And they also do what is called Pashubandha. Nirudha Pashubandha. Where did you hear this word, Nirudha Pashubandha? Huh? Abani, where did you hear this word?
I don't remember.
Who remembers? Sudhakar? Nirudha Pashubandha. ఏం చేస్తున్నారా మీరు న్యాసాలు? I don't understand what. Anganyasa Karanyasa. Yes. What do you say? Agnihotra, Chaturmasya, Niruda Pashubandha. Those are all yajnas. Hello, fellows. Niruda Pashubandhat Mane Anamikabhyan Namaha. So those are the yajnas, rituals, those perform rituals. They are invoking all the energy of those rituals, the yajna, into their own limbs and into their own fingers. And that energy associated with that ritual is what is the nyasa being done. So each of them is a yajna process. Chaturmasya, Agnihotra, Niruda Pashubandha. So now let us finish this. I don't know if we will. Okay, it's almost 6 minutes over. So anyway, the rest of the ritual may be there is there is water that is placed on several sides, and these waters are collected from the rain, and it is incredible. And the water here filled from south, it is collected from a well, and the water that is from the west is collected from a tank or a static water bodies, and the water from north, the water that is placed in the north is collected from flowing water, and the water at the center is from a water body like a well. This is, and then if you only conduct this ritual, you lost the point. Each of those waters represent a particular state of mind again. Namo Varshaya cha Varshaya cha Namo. In Rudra Prishna, you will get different types of water described in Rudra Prishna. Static water, flowing water, lake water. All those Rudra Prishna, also those mantras are associated with the ritual aspect of it. And I have described what are the meaning of those different waters in Rudra Prishna. If you go into the PDF, you will see what types of water the consciousness is present. Okay. Now you are all thinking, why is he telling all this stuff? For heaven's sake, let's just start learning the mantra, no? If you learn the mantra without knowing all these things, you will be just a parrot that will be repeating after you have no idea why you are chanting that mantra. Now, why I gave all this introduction is because the very first line in the very first Panchati, after chanting the Bhadram Karnebihi, the very first mantra is, please show the file now, Apamapa Mapasarva. Please pull up the mantra. Okay. Now Anuvaka 1, which we finished learning. Swasti no bruhaspatir dadhatu apamapa mapasarva aha. Chandrasekhar, please repeat.
Om apamapa mapasarva aha. Om apamapa mapasarva aha.
Asmadasmadhito mutaka.
Asmadasmadito mutaha. Asmadasmadito mutaha.
Scale, are you in F?
Yes.
Apamapamapasarva aha. Asmadasmadito mutaha. Asmadasmadito mutaha. Together.
Om apamapa mapasarva aha. Asmadasmadito mutaha. Apamapa mapasarva aha. Asmadasmadito mutaha.
So the very first mantra is Apam, Apam, Apaha, Sarvaha, Asmat, Asmat, Itaha, Amutaha. Itaha, from here, and Amutaha, from all the other worlds. Asmat, Asmat, from wherever possible. Sarvah, all possible. Apaha, waters. Apam, we have procured. That is the reason why I went into why all the different waters are procured and placed in different places. So that is the ritual part. Apamapamapasarva aha asmadasmadito mutaka. So from here, from all the places, different places, from wherever possible and from all possible places. We have procured these water, placed them in the pots to start the ritual. We start the ritual from next week. Apa, that is the first mantra is after paying all this attention, suddenly he's saying there is no Shanti after the Swastino Bruhaspatir Dadhatu. Now count the number of lines. Bhadram Karne Vishnuyamadeva, Bhadram Pashye Makshavirjeta, Sthirairanga Istushtuagum Sastanubhi, Vishema Devahita Yadayuhu. So until Swastino Bruhaspatir Dadhatu is 8 lines. Apamapamapasarva is 9th line. Asmadasmadito Mutaha is 10th line. So Panchati has 10 lines in the first mantra of the first Anuvakam. And the first Anuvakam, the ritual is collecting all the water, placing them in all the pots that are now going to begin the ritual associated with the Aruna Ketuka Chayana. Now, if I did not tell the spiritual part of spiritual meaning of this ritual, next week nobody will show up. So to make sure that we are all understanding what is this Aruna Ketuka Chayana, few words I will say and then we will close the class for today. Aruna, as I already said, is rising sun. Ketuka means the flag or the banner or the logo. That is what is called Ketu. Ketuka means a flag that indicates, like for example, the flag or the logo of a company or even a country represents that country. No. Similarly, when somebody walks with a flag of a country, and then only the motorcade will come. No, the president of a country, first there will be a pilot car with the flag of that country, then only the entourage and the president of that country will come. Similarly, what is the first sign before the sun rises? What indicates the arrival of the sun? The flag associated with arrival of the sun. This is all nature. When you observe the nature, what comes first before even the sun comes? The rays of the sun come before the sun comes out. And that rays of the sun is Ketuka. And the rising sun is Aruna. Wow. Do I understand what is Aruna Ketuka? Names of the rishis also have beautiful symbolic spiritual meaning. Therefore, understand the name, your name, what it means and the spiritual significance of it. And at least try to live up to that name. For God's sake, I got a name. At least try to live up to that name. Understand its meaning, what it should be. Aruna Ketuka means Aruna is rising sun. Ketuka are the rays of the sun that come out first. So, Aruna Krishna, therefore, is spiritually about connecting to the manifestation or the presence of a rising sun and the result of that rising sun in the universe. So, this Surya Bhagavan literally means wisdom and effulgence. Surya Bhagavan is, this ritual connects to the spirit of the Lord of Sun with the ritual. As I already mentioned, after every 50 words, the seeker prostrates to the Lord Sun as a ritual, and you have seen it in the Ujjaini Yajna on Ratha Saptami. We pause and say, Sri Chaya Suvarchalamba Sameta Sri Surya Narayana Swamine Namaha. Chaya is shadow, Suvarchas is splendid radiance. These two are the natural consorts of Lord Sun. And Surya Narayana, as a Bhagavan, is a Namaskara Priyaha. Like Abhisheka is what Shiva loves, Alankara is what Vishnu loves, Surya Narayana loves prostration. And that's why yesterday, if you missed that satsang yesterday, please listen to what is a prostration. Now you understand why you do prostration to Surya Narayana. With 8 limbs are only for men, and for women it is 5 limbs. Uras is not touched. And So therefore, the Uras and Manas are not touched for women. Therefore, it is only 5 limbs. And for men, it is Ashtanga, 8 limbs. And so this spiritual that is associated with this yajna, I will explain what is the spiritual significance of it, what is apa, what is salila, what is collecting this water from everywhere. We will study that from next week. But this coming Tuesday, we'll have practice of this Shanti mantra and the very first mantra associated with this Rudra Prashna. Okay. Before we close, are there any questions? Let's check. All right. No questions.
Raman,
Yes.
so I know you explained about women not prostrating with the 8 limbs, but when we do in yoga the Surya Namaskarams, we still have, I mean, the women do that, right? So is that allowed or not? That should not be allowed to.
I am not into yoga because I don't have roga yet. You have to ask your teacher, your yoga teacher, that question. Because if I tell no, he should not be doing it. No, tomorrow you go and tell him. He will write some thing on YouTube or someplace. This guy is distracting everybody, I don't want to be caught in the fire. So ask your yoga teacher, is it spiritually correct? Not even spiritually correct. Because I explained this in Ujjaini, why women's chest and heart are most sacred place. They're even more sacred than God himself, because they sustain the whole universe. And therefore, Urasa, Manasa should not be touched on the ground. So if in yoga, acrobatics and all of that stuff, gymnastics, they do all kinds of things. That is, at least for Sashtanga Namaskaram, that is not done. Okay, that I can tell. Okay, any other very important clarification questions?
Anna, so the word Aruna maybe can be split into A and Runa. So would Runa means, I'm just based on my limited knowledge, means bondage. The one Aruna means that which releases from bondage. Is there
No.
Okay.
Because that is a R, that is a Rana. This is Ru. This is a consonant. In the word Rana, that is a vowel. Here it is a consonant. So you cannot combine the two like that. No.
Oh, that's good. Thank you.
Grammatically not correct. Yeah. But I like the way of conceptual interpretation. But the Shabda is not a Rana. Shabda is Runa, Aruna. Okay? Yeah. Aruna Achala. That is beautiful. Aruna Achala. There it is 2 words. Aruna Achala. Together becomes Aruna Achala. Arunachala. Aruna is actually in the light spectrum, the last color is the red. Or when people describe it, they will also go with red first. Red, indigo, like that they go. So the red is the color that is first emanating. It's the longest wavelength color. And that color associated with that is the one that stimulates creation. And so therefore, the red pigments associated with the leaves are the ones that capture that red wavelength and create food. So there is a beautiful aspect about Aruna being that which is behind creation. And therefore, that creation is associated with Rajoguna, and that is Mahalakshmi. And so the creation is Aruna. The kinetic aspect of creation is Aruna. Achala, that which does not move, the potential aspect is the Shiva. Aruna Achala, therefore, is Shakti Shiva, Shiva Shakti. That is the interpretation of the word Arunachala. Okay. Now I know that's beyond your whatever question was asked, but I just want to bring full context of the word Aruna. Aruna, Karuna. Tarangita Akshim. Eyes. Because of the movements of the eyes of the mother, creation has come into existence with her infinite compassion. That is the actual meaning of the word of that sentence. Aruna Karuna Tarangita Akshim. Now, what is carrying Dhrita Pasha Ankusha Pushpa Bana Chapam? Pushpa Bana Chapam. Pushpa Chapam Banam. Those are, now I won't get into the meaning of that. It's a beautiful Aruna, therefore. Aruna Kamala Samstha. That is the other one where we chant in the Samputita Sri Suktam. Aruna Kamala Samstha. Aruna Kamala means red lotus. How the red lotus responds to the sun's rays and opens up. That is the other aspect of Aruna. Okay. Any other questions? No. No? Okay. Om Yadaksharapadabrashtam Matrahinantu Yadbhavet Tatsarvan Shamyatam Deva Narayana Namostute Visargabindu Matrani Padapadaksharaani Cha Nyunani Chatiriktaani Kshamasva Saishvara Aparadha Sahasrani Kriyante Garnisham Maya Dasoyamiti Mam Matva Kshamasva Saishvara Anyatha Sharanannasti Tvameva Sharanam Mama Tasmat Karunya Bhavena Raksha Raksha Saishvara Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Saishvararpanamastu Swastif Prajabhyah Paripalayanta Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishah Go Brahmanebhyah Shubhamastu Nityam Samastalokaah Sukhino Bhavantu Samastalokaah Sukhino Bhavantu Samastalokaah Sukhino Bhavantu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Jai Bolo Bhagwan Shri Satya Sai Baba Ji ki Jai.
Gracias.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sai Ram.
Thank you very
Sai
much.
Ram. Thank you.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.